Okay, today is class 20 of CAD 212 on Wednesday, November 10th. Today in class, we're going to be talking about door schedules and window schedules. This is a repeat of some of the information that we've done before. We're just going to refresh your memory about those. Then we're going to talk about color schemes and what that means. And that'll be probably the last new thing that we do in class as far as creating new stuff. After this week, next week, we're going to be moving into, if we look at our important dates on the bottom, our next class on Monday, November 15th is called Putting It All Together, working on the portfolio, how we're going to organize our sheets. I gave you a list of sheets previously. This is the list that you're going to be going off of and just kind of following this. So on Monday, we're going to talk about how we bring all this stuff together. It's going to be basically what we did on the first project, but brought up to another notch here. We're all going to be using sheet E1 30 by 42, and these are all the sheets that you're going to create. But we'll go into this a little bit more on Monday. Rest of the important dates that we need to take a look at. Next Wednesday, November 17th. I give you time in, when we're in class to just work on your project. We've got a lot of stuff going on, but when I've looked at people's drawings, they're in various states, but this will give you a chance to catch up. So we got class on the 15th where we talk about how we pull it all together. And then on the 17th, you're just going to have a working class. We're not going to have class that day. This is just going to be a day for you to work on your project and get as much done as possible. When we come back on November 22nd, that's going to be an open class also, where we're going to review your projects. I'm going to take a look at your progress. You can ask questions and we can kind of just work on anything that anybody's having any issues with then. I also use this kind of a follow-up project and a pre-review for the final. 24th is Thanksgiving break. And then your entire project will be due on the 29th. You'll get the breakdown of all that information needed before the 29th. And then our final exam is going to be on Wednesday, December 1st, and it will start at 9 a.m. The final exam is very similar to the midterm project that we created, just with a lot more stuff that we've done in the second half of the semester. So that's pretty much the layout of the rest of the semester, y'all. So we don't have that much to go, but depending on where you are in your model, you may still have a lot of work to do, which is why I kind of assign this work out the way it does at the end of the semester. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's lecture. Door and window schedules, repeat of what we've done previously, but this color scheme work is dependent on you having reviewed the video from Monday, because it builds on the information as far as room tags is concerned. So we'll go ahead and review that again as well. Any questions before we jump into today's lecture? All right, anything comes up, just let me know. All right, let's talk about door schedules, window schedules, old stuff. Remember, when we're creating schedules, we're going to go to our View tab, the Create panel, and the Schedule tool. We'll go to Schedules and Quantities, and we'll just pick what we want. First one we're going to create is doors. We'll double click on that. And when we do doors, we're going to go by height and width. And we'll go by naming classification this time. Let's try family and see what pops up. Sometimes some information pops up or doesn't. Let's reorganize this information. So our family is first, and then height and width go second. All right, let's hit OK. Yeah, that looks good. So family gives us the type of door that we're using, height, and then width. So very straightforward, exactly what we've done before to create schedules. So we will be incorporating this into our documentations, into our G102. Usually schedules are on a separate sheet, but we're just going to create those in our G102 when we talk about that on Monday. So let's go ahead and create that window schedule now. So once again, view panel, view tab, create panel, schedule tool, schedules and quantities. And this time we'll go down to windows. Let's use the same categories. We'll do family, height, and width. If you have time, I'd suggest kind of playing with some of these other ones because you can pick out type. Not all this information is going to be loaded into the model just because of the way Revit is structured when you start an intro. But a lot of times, some of this other information you can get if you do get like a window or door family from a particular manufacturer. They'll have Revit models and they'll have all this information in there, including heat transfers and things like that, which is, it's not used all the time, but it is kind of interesting to know. So, play with some of this before you, move on. So we'll do family, height, and width again and hit OK. And just a couple of different windows in here. And we've got that set. So we'll just use this as our window schedule. And next Monday, I'll show you how to incorporate that into your sheets. So that's pretty much a repeat of all the previous stuff that we've done. So let's jump into some new stuff. I'm going to jump to level 1. Here's my level 1. At this point, we should have a regular level 1 that you're using for your floor plan level 1. You should have a level 1 that incorporates your interiors. And to create this color scheme, which is basically a breakdown of the room usage, we're going to create another level as well. So remember, to do that, you're going to go to level 1, right click, duplicate view, and duplicate. And that will create another copy. So I've already started some of the information I need in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and back and rename this one. Oops. Level 1 usage. So I already have my room tags in here, and you do need your room tags in here already to create your color schedule and your usage, because it's going to break it down by different classifications: offices, classrooms, classroom, and janitor room. I've got circulation right here. So it'll break it down into different colors. So how does that work? So once you have all your rooms tagged, you're going to go to Architecture tab, Room and Area panel, do this drop down here, and go to Color Schemes. When we go to Color Schemes, there's a couple things that we need to change on here just to make it work. So we're going to go over to this section, and notice it is categorizing everything by spaces, but we want to do it by room. And notice when I do that, it's going to pop up with the different room types that I've already created, and it's going to assign them a different color. I can change the color scheme if you don't like these colors, or if you have a particular pattern in mind or a color scheme in mind that matches your rooms that you're using. You can just double click on that and you can change the color as well. So you can change that to different gradients like that. So you can change all the colors there too. And let's go ahead and hit okay, and see what happens. So absolutely nothing happened. So the next thing you need to do is go over to your properties. And we're going to go down to color schemes right here. That says color scheme none. We're going to click on that. And this is where we're going to change this back to rooms and by name. And when you do that, it's going to activate the room colorization. So we'll click on that. And notice here, now everything's kind of laid out. This is kind of a cool thing to show clients because it's a quick breakdown of how we use our rooms. They can see how much space is used for classrooms, how much space is used for offices, the circulation panel, the janitor's closet, things like that. It's just another way to break down information to make it easy to digest for a client. So we've got this laid out, but we also want to add a legend to it, so it's easy to understand and kind of break down very quickly. So in order to add that, we're going to go to Annotate tab. Oh, I messed up this panel. Great. I'll have to put that back in a second. All right, so we're going to go to Annotate tab, and all the way over here under the Color Fill panel, we're going to click on Color Fill Legend. And as soon as you do that, you're just going to get a breakdown of your different classifications according to color. So that way, if this is too small, I mean, sometimes depending on the scale, it gets very small. It's just nice to have a legend to look at to see how they correspond. So you will have to incorporate this into your project. This would be incorporated into your interior section. Here under usage plan and color scheme. So we'll create that as well. It's very easy to create. Sometimes it just takes a little practice going back and forth to the renaming section and making sure that you're clicking on the right boxes, but it's really easy to create. So you're just going to do that for the first floor. You don't need to do that for all the floors. I just want to see that you have that process down and can do that. But this is basically what we're going to do and create our color scheme and our usage panel. Any questions about this, y'all? Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So go ahead and start playing with that today. I don't have anything else new to go over with you today. I can open the floor to any questions that anybody's having, but we should be moving to a point in our model where we're getting everything complete and really moving into our construction documents phase and pulling those all together. You do have the list of sheets that you need to create. You can be creating these at the same time that you are still tweaking your design work. There is a lot of stuff that needs to be done. So if you've got any questions, let me know. If you want me to take a look at your work progress, you can just turn that in your construction documents phase. If we take a look at this module here, this is the last module that we're going to be creating. This is the last one that we're going to be doing. So there's no more, you don't need to turn in your weekly progress. You can turn it in if you want for me to check it, and I suggest that. And the reason that we do that is like when we're in class, I can always, check on your work. But here it's a little difficult. So if you want me to look at your work and you want me to make some tweaks on it, either set an appointment with me through text or drop your work in here. You can always post multiple times in Canvas. So if you do that weekly, I will take a look at your work on Sunday, and that way you'll have comments when we get back on Monday. But this is your final assignment that's going to be due on November 29th by 11:59 a.m. So by noon that day.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So for when we're tagging like the rooms and putting what they are, do we do like the hallway and the stairs?
Yeah. So like on here, I have this, design was made with this all being open and as one room, basically. So I have that labeled as circulation. If this was cut off, and let's see, let's jump back to one of these other ones. Let's go to level 2, see what that looks like. If this one's wall was connected here. Now, this one would now give me another room here, and I could call this stairwell, and then this circulation or hallway, and have that assigned that way. One of the things to think about is when we're doing this, especially as we've duplicated these, that we want to go to VVV and turn off your floors. Remember, we need to have this to look at it. So we want to turn off our floors to keep the drawing clean. And then also remember this, since this is shown as the second floor, when we start pulling this together and getting all of our work done, notice I can still see the walls underneath that. That's when I need to reset my underlay view. So it says range base level 1. So I'm going to set that to none. And now those walls underneath the first floor walls are now not visible, and this just keeps it cleaner for you. It makes it easier to start laying things out and use it actually as an actual floor plan.
Okay, because I guess like my first floor, I cut it off and put like lobby and then hallway and then stairwell, but I guess that's wrong.
If it's one large section that's broken up into those different parts, remember we can use, where to go? Oh, I don't know how I moved this down here. All right, let's put this back. All right, there we go. Remember, you can use your room separator to divide those spaces. So if it's, what's that?
That's what I did. I separated by the room separator, but I didn't know if that was right or not. Like, because I put it in lobby and then I did a hallway and then I did stair.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. It sounds correct. So like if you did the room separated, break up those spaces, then you can go back with your room tags and you'd have 2 separate spaces, and it'll show up in your usage as such.
Okay, just making sure that was right.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'll have to take a look at it, but it sounds right. Because like right here, if I name this lobby and I name this, courtyard or whatever, I don't know, it would show up in my usage schedule as 2 separate places. So yeah, good catch. Any other questions, y'all?
I was wondering, did you want us to fully furnish our project? Like I'm talking about like each floor and every room?
It was just the first floor, interiors, because it's a lot to do the entire building. So what I'd like you to do is just concentrate on that first floor. So for your interiors, it's just the first floor plan. And then for this color scheme that we're doing, it's only the first floor plan as well. Now, that's the minimum requirements. If you do have time and you want to do more, you can do that. That's not a problem. But just for your interiors view, it's just the first floor plan. And for your color scheme, just the first floor plan. And that's all dependent on you remembering to, duplicate and duplicate level 1. Because if you try to use level 1 over and over again and keep hiding everything, it's going to drive you crazy. So when you just copy level 1 and you use them in different for the different types of usage we want, it makes it a lot easier for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions?
I did, but it requires you opening my drawing. When I made my I guess it's the 4th level. I have a roof that's joining another roof.
Okay.
And I changed it to the seam.
Standing seam roof?
Yes, but when I did it, the 2 roofs, they're not. they're not agreeing with one another somehow. I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it wrong.
Okay, do you want to share your drawing now?
You have it, I think. I sent it to you last night.
Oh, you did? Okay, let me open it. Hold up one second, please.